Good day everyone, I'm Nela Lipardo Solar from BSPA 4P, introducing the reporter of this topic, which is about typical outcomes from annual appraisals. Before we proceed to the outcomes, let us know first what is annual appraisals. Annual appraisals or reviews are viewed by the staff and management as a difficult and painful process. It is the outcome's performance and how it evaluates the progress through phases the period of time. Most recent research suggests that annual staff reviews are generally perceived as a difficult and painful process by both managers and employees. As there are typically objectives which are set in appraisal systems, there is no link to strategic or operational outcomes.
If the CEO's objective was to increase margins by 3%, employees may be aware of the CEO's intent, but they are usually not measured on this objective in their individual appraisal. Therefore, there is no linkage in the appraisal review and no linkage at a team or department level.
And now, let's proceed to the outcomes.
Misdirected employee bonuses. The situation has been illustrated many times where employees and managers have received favorable reviews and bonuses, and yet the organization has not achieved its goals. The organization may be too painful, emotionally charged. High stress levels for both managers and employees also became a factor. They both know they will be judged on the outcome of the appraisal, and the fallout is often destructive rather than constructive. The reasoning behind this is that there are rarely any predefined measures objectives, and the employee review is not based on any considered evaluation criteria. The employee's remuneration and future are at stake, and the goodwill of the manager's future resources are also at stake. This leads to the high stress in the case of both individuals, and this is a poor emotional state in which to have a thorough discussion about employee performance. Poor understanding of expectations. Where the appraisal system is poorly communicated, both the employee and manager enter these discussions with low confidence levels. This is due to a lack of rules as to how to go about the appraisal process and a lack of understanding of the expected outcomes. As this process is infrequent, it is viewed by the employee as an opportunity to discuss remuneration, promotion prospects, and other issues related to the employee. This means the discussion is dominated by employee content rather than what the manager needs the employee to do for the next year. This leads to vague definition of performance goals and perpetuates the system of poorly defined and executed appraisals. Bad timing. More often than not, the annual appraisal is executed on the employee's anniversary, which does not coincide with any particular performance period. If appraisals are conducted annually on the anniversary date, it is only possible to align at best only 50% of your staff with future objectives, assuming there is an even distribution of start dates across the employee workforce. Given that most appraisal systems are not automated, there is poor reporting and therefore low visibility as to who did or did not achieve their objectives. Subjective manager opinion. This means that an employee's future is wholly dependent on their manager's highly subjective opinion. The CEO or other executive management does not have clear vision as to who achieved their objectives and who did not. The outcome for the CEO is that they do not have the ability to see failure as it is occurring. Instead, they see failure after the fact, and radical adjustments are then required to repair the situation. By using standalone appraisal systems, the outcome for the line manager is that they have additional pressure applied to them to fix a problem which has become a major issue and which could have been otherwise identified and fixed in a very timely fashion. Employee performance not aligned to promotions. Given that annual appraisals are only conducted once yearly, most line managers only seriously think and plan once a year. The consequences are poor resource management, put out the fire management, and costly, and reactive problem fixing on the fly. Given that most appraisal systems are manual and on paper, the data arising from an excellent performance typically does not find its way into the succession planning process. Employees are therefore often disillusioned to find that they have been passed over for further development or a promotion when they have performed strongly for several years. Poor development opportunities. This is the primary cause for employees leaving the organization. Most appraisal systems do not feature a competency assessment or an active development plan that both the employee and manager have mutually agreed to. Staff often get disillusioned and leave the organization if they can see no personal development prospects or if personal development has not occurred in practice for the last several years despite numerous promises. No consequence for non-participation. Given that most appraisal systems are manual, reporting is weak and therefore compliance reporting is not visible. This inevitably means that managers learn that they do not have to perform reviews and therefore they don't because there is no negative consequence for them. Equally, employees learn that there is no consequence to not being reviewed. They lose faith in management and invariably look for somewhere else to work. Most manual appraisal systems suffer from sub 30% compliance and can get to this point after only 18 months of operation, roughly 1 to 1.5 performance terms.